Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome to our final episode of our Dallas Stars franchise mode. So, in last episode, we had the entire off season, and we somehow managed to move up to the first overall pick from 14 to number 1 with the lotteries. So, we end up getting a pretty good player into our lineup, and our team looks really good for this upcoming season. And hopefully we have a competitive final season and we could win the Stanley Cup, so that way at least you guys could go away with one more cup in this series, because I think we've only won 2 so far. But I'm going to show you guys quickly the lines. I already simmed the last of the off season after last episode where you guys would have seen last. So here is our lineup. I mean, it's really deep. Like, this might be one of the best squads in terms of offense I've ever put together. So we got Hodges, Wong, and Lorentz. I don't know why Lorentz is there. Let me just quickly see if I can make a change. I didn't realize Lorentz was that high up. Maybe we can make a deal like this. No, I don't. Actually, we'll just leave it like that. No, might as well, because the chemistry. So yeah, and Lorentz, so the youngster is going to get a chance on that top line. Second line, we got Riley, Lindell, and Clancy. As you can see, Lindell's dropping off a bit. Probably because he's 33 years old now. But he is signed for quite a long time still, so it's a bit of a bummer, but whatever. At least he's our captain and our leader. Third line, we got a really good line here in DeSantis Rathje, who we just drafted first overall. Really excited to see how this guy plays. And we also have Keith Drake. And in our fourth line, we got Antilla, Markstrom, and Sidor. I mean, we might end up making changes with Drake and Antilla, because Antilla's a shooter. Rathje and Drake are both playmakers, so if this line's not getting enough goals, we might move Antilla up and put Drake on the fourth line, but otherwise our team is very, very deep on offense. And then defensively, we got Helmer and Pavelski still, Vincation and Patrick, and then Vance and Cullimore. So our defense isn't horrendous by any counts. Like, we've seen a lot worse defenses in playoffs before, but it still looks pretty solid. Goaltending wise, we got Korolyuk, who jumped up to an 86. We acquired him last year for the Penta, and he was insanely good. I'm hoping he could be good this year. And then we got Chris Osgood, who had a good season last year in Calgary as a backup, and a good year as well the year prior in Detroit as a backup. So yeah, we're going to bring him in, and he's 10 wins away actually from 500, and he's 2 games away from 1,000 in his career, which is pretty crazy. And then here's our depth. And I'm not going to show you guys the special teams because that doesn't really matter that much, and we need to get this season simmed, because this episode might be a very long episode. Like, it might be my longest franchise episode ever. It might be as long as some of the recaps I've done in the past. So let's get started with this 2035-36 season. This team should be a playoff team. If we're not this final year, that will be a very big shock to me, because this team missed last year because we started the season off so bad. But we had a really good month of March that almost got us back into the playoff hunt. Unfortunately, we just barely missed, but then the draft lottery came in our favor, and we somehow jumped from 14 to number 1, which was really insane to see. Because I've only had that happen one other time, and I think that was in my Habs series that I did not too long ago, like back in 2019. I guess it was a long time ago. So actually, it would have been a year ago already, almost, that I was probably doing that series, which is pretty crazy to think that. Okay, so preseason doesn't matter too much as long as we played somewhat decently to kind of get ready for the upcoming season. We know our division is a very strong division, so we need to be competitive pretty much any game we play against a divisional opponent. And the last game of the preseason is going to be another win. So 4-1, 0-1, so much better preseason than last year. And for some reason, whoever made this schedule likes us playing Chicago on the Sundays. 3 games against Chicago in the first month. Interesting. And they had a really bad preseason. Okay, so let's get this season simulated. So we'll go to the end of October. Hopefully we can win all those games against Chicago, because since they're a divisional opponent, maybe that will give us a boost in the standings a bit. So we start off on the road this season against the Flyers, where we win 4-2. Nicely done, boys. We actually let go also of Jaguar in last episode, if you guys didn't catch it. So we let go of our Stanley Cup winning goaltender, but hopefully Korolyuk could hold down the fort and be a good starter. He was a really good backup for us last season when we acquired him. And speaking of Koroliuk, he goes down with an injury till November the 8th. So we're going to have to rely on Chris Osgood, who's dropped off a lot. And we're also going to have to rely on an AHL goalie, which is not good. I mean, Wood is actually growing pretty good. He doesn't go through waivers either. He's having a great year to start down there in the minors. His first season in the AHL. Do I bring up Wood? You know what? I'm going to bring up Wood because Stafford would go through waivers even though he wouldn't get claimed. We're going to give Wood a shot. Why not? That's the final season. You guys get to find out if a 70 overall goalie could play better than like an 84. Our goaltending combination looks like crap right now, but maybe it's the cheese we need right now. And in the AHL, we need to put in Prokop, I guess the computer signed us. There you go. And see if we can win games with some really bad goaltending. Like, if that 70 overall goalie gets a shutout in any of his games, then that's just weird as hell. Because I don't know how 83 overall goalies sometimes simulate really bad, or 89s do, but like 70s and stuff simulate really well. Like, that's something that EA needs to definitely address if they want to make the simulating more realistic. Like, I know there's some goalies that just randomly come into the NHL, like, say, Jordan Binnington, and do really well, but it's not always the case. So we're kind of playing like what we've been playing in the last few years, just playing around 500 hockey, which is kind of okay, but as long as we don't go on any huge losing streaks, which, as I'm saying that, we're on a 4-game losing streak. So maybe I should not have said that. Last 4 games of the month. I know we don't have good goaltending, but as long as we can stay around 500 until Koroliuk comes back, I'll be fine with that, I think. There's 2 wins in a row. Nicely done, boys. I wonder if Wood is getting it done. If Wood is getting wins, that would be pretty good. Last 2 games against Chicago and Edmonton to end this month. We lose and we win. So 5-5-0-2. Despite having a goaltending injury, we're doing pretty solid. I don't know how we're doing offensively, or if we're just a good defensive team or what. Okay, we're a really good offensive team. Hodges has 10 goals in 12 games, and he's got 16 points. So, yeah, hopefully that offense, like, I've never had an offense where I've had, like, an 84 playing on, like, the 4th line. Like, that's absolutely insane to do that. Like, technically, I don't like playing players out of their roles, but in this case, I don't really care. Because, like, I just want this team to be competitive. So, Koroliuk is back, which is good. We're going to have to send down Wood. How was Wood doing? Well, it looks like he was playing good. 3-2. 1 shutout. He actually picked up a shutout as a 70. Yeah, totally realistic. Totally realistic. Okay. I mean, it could happen in real life, but it's not like, I don't get how 70s could put up a shutout and then some 85s can only have 1 shutout throughout the entire season. It just does not make sense. So Koroliuk in, and then we're just going to go best lines in the minors because there was a guy that I forgot to put in the lineup anyways. So there you go. Game against Edmonton. There's another win, 7-5-0-2. Okay, so we're starting to win some games. I'm liking that. We're playing better than last year already, which is a good thing. Because last year we started the season off kind of on the wrong foot to an extent. But we are on a 4-game winning streak. All against Western Canadian teams too. Okay, let's go right till December the 1st. See if this month could be pretty good for us. And yeah, hopefully we can just maintain this the entire year. Because most seasons we start off really well and then we kind of drop off near the end, or vice versa. Like, we've never been really a team to win much presence trophies in this entire franchise mode series. But I bet you my voice after doing this video is going to be dead, because I already recorded 4 episodes today because I've been doing all the episodes back to back to back. And this episode is probably going to be a long episode since I think we should be a playoff team. Wow, we're on a really good winning streak right now. We haven't lost since the 28th of October. And as I say that, we get a tie, so that's still a point, though. And there's a loss. Okay, I knew the loss had to come soon. Like, I think I've had a winning streak once of, like, almost 20 games, but I've never had, like one where it just all of a sudden abruptly ends. Especially after I mentioned, yeah, there's 2 games that we lose in a row now. Yeah, here comes the losing streak. Doesn't surprise me, though, with this team, Because this team, even though they're really good, sometimes they just all of a sudden decide, we're going to sit back for a bit and go back to 500. Like now, yeah, we're on a 4-game losing streak after winning that much in a row. It just doesn't make sense. There's 5 games that we lose in a row. Okay, now we're losing a bit too much. I don't like it. Can we win 2 games to end the month at least so we stay above 500, please? I don't know why we're all of a sudden losing. We lose to the Russians who had 6 wins, guys. What are you doing? And the final game of the month. Is it going to be a win? It's another loss. My God. We just lost like 8 in a row or something, and we're 11, 12, and 1, and 2 now. Instead of being like 11 and 5 like I think we were at one point. And we're 2, 7, and 1 in our last 10. Yikes, and we still have a guy that's over point per game, no. So it's probably our defense. Let's actually take a quick look at what lines are doing what. Like maybe we want to do that until it changed that we were mentioning before. Okay, so top line has been out there for a lot of goals against. Second line's been out there for more than that. Fourth line's been actually absolutely insane. Nice. Okay, so our bottom 6 is fine. Our second line has been really bad defensively. So we'll move Riley up and we'll put Lawrence down. And just to give it a little bit of a change up, see how that is, even though that top line's been good. In terms of points, how about defensively? Top pairing's been okay. Second pairing's been good. Third pairing's been okay. And how's our goaltending been? Korolyuk, not good. What the heck is this? 4-8-0 with an 883. You played that good as a backup, but as a starter in an 86, you're not going to play good. And Osgood as a backup has been not great either. Oh, we might need to make a goaltending change again. Because now that Korolyuk's an 86, maybe he's too good for the game, and the game's going to make him bad. Yeah, so if we all of a sudden like just don't play good like this next month or so, maybe we change your goaltending situation for the second time. Just because like I feel like if you have too good of goaltending or something like that, then the game just completely shits on you. Okay, let's go this month and see how we do. Can we get this winning or losing streak done, please? I made that slight line change. Hopefully that maybe changes things. There's a win against Winnipeg to end it. And Kirill Nabokov, it's AHL, doesn't really matter. We do beat Calgary. Nice. So we do have 2 wins in a row after losing like 7, I think, straight or something like that. Game against Anaheim and Russia. But yeah, hopefully we make the Cup Finals this year, even though this episode will be super long if we do that. So Osgood's now been injured. That's our backup, so we're going to have to call up Wood again, which I am okay with. Nothing like a little good Wood in the playoffs, or not in the playoffs, in the season. I wonder if he's good with his stick, like he's a good poke checking goaltender. Korolyuk in, and Wood as backup. And in AHL wise, just put in that Prokop guy. Okay, let's see if we can win games still with Wood as our backup. There's another win, a shutout win too. If Wood gets more than 1 shutout, I'm going to be kind of a little bit cheesed to an extent, because literally, like, I think some of our goalies had, like, only 1 shutout all last season, and to have, like, a 70 just come in and get a shutout is, like, ridiculous. So Osgood's already back, so Wood's going back down. So he only came up for, like, a day. He might have been in that game, he might have been back up, I don't know. Korolyuk and Osgood. And take out Prokop. And there we go. Game against the Rangers. Come on, boys. There's another win. Now we're on a good winning streak. I like that. I don't want to trade for all these roster players. Even if it's only giving up a first in Watkins. It's pointless because we have already like the most insane forward core I've had ever in the franchise mode. Okay, Osgood's full health. That's good. And there's a loss. Yeah, now we're on like back and forth between winning and losing streaks. Back-to-back losses again. I don't like how inconsistent this team is. Patrick Lawrence has been injured. That's not good, but we'll just go replace player. Because I feel like most of our depth guys will be fine wherever we put them in the lineup. because I think Callahan and Ewan should be fine on the second line or something like that. There's a win against Toronto. Game against San Jose is another win. Okay, so now we're starting to play good. We're almost catching up to first place, which is Detroit. But our division is pretty strong, and now DeSantis has been injured with bruised ribs. Hopefully we're not having that injury problem we had last season, because there was a lot of injuries last season, and that could have also been the reason why we lost. There you go, best lines again. Game against Germany and Detroit, so 2 more divisional games. Is a loss and a win against Detroit. Okay, we're only right behind them, so we're on a good start to the season, but I don't want us to simulate too good, because then we might just end up being a first round exit. Like, I like us being maybe a bit above 500, and Lawrence is back. That's good, but this guy's been pretty solid for us so far. So Lawrence into our lineup. There you go. Game against St. Louis, another divisional opponent. Can it be another win, or are we going to have another injury? We're going to have another injury, but it's an AHL player, thank God, with the MCL sprain. Because if it was an NHL player, that would have been a big loss, probably. And we do beat St. Louis, and last game of the month against Detroit. It's taken a while, and maybe another injury. Nope. Hartford has fired their coach. And we lose to Detroit. Okay. So at January the 1st, we're 20-15-3-3. So pretty solid record. Way better than last season already to an extent. Or in general. We're only 3 points back of the Red Wings. We are tied with Winnipeg, but they have less games played. And we are only 6 points above the Maple Leafs, who are out of a playoff spot. Yeah, this division is super tight. 48 points in 41 games for Lionel Hodges already. I'm glad at least we picked him up a couple years back. Okay, so yeah, I think we're good. Let's just continue simulating. Like, I'm not going to check player stats probably right till the end of the season, just because this episode's going to be really long. And I want to get as much of the season done as possible before we actually look at like player stats and all that stuff. So let's have another good month of March, or not March, January here. And hopefully, yeah, this team ends up being a playoff team. Like, hopefully it's not one of those seasons where we start off really well, but then we just don't play good. Because it's still, yeah, we're 7 games above 500. So, yeah, it's been pretty good. Way better than last season. Last season is one of those seasons you want to forget about, except for the fact that we somehow jumped from 14 to number 1. Like, that pick is, like, that chances of that are really slim, like, at least in real life. I don't know how the AI determines that. Clancy's been injured. That's not good. We'll just go replace player, but that's one of our better snipers, I think. Like a second or first liner, I don't remember which one, because our team is super deep. We've lost 3 straight games now, though. Game against Russia, can we please get a win? Multiple players are back, that's good. So, who are we going to take out again? So is Ewan that was not supposed to be there? Who's injured, coming back from injury? Clancy. Yeah, Clancy is the only one. I think it was something like this. Yeah, I think our lineup was something like that. Yeah, that was probably what it was like. And then was Clancy? Yeah, Clancy is probably here as well. Because Clancy's a good shooter, and I want him getting a decent amount of ice time. There you go. And probably also on this other power play, right? Nope, never mind. Okay, let's continue this sim. Come on, boys. There's a tie, at least it's a point. I would take that over an OT loss any day. And Clancy's full health, which is great. Game against Boston. 7-4 win, nice. Okay. I mean, our offense is playing really well. Our defense has had some struggling games, like 4 goals against, but the way the NHL is in this, maybe it's a lot of offense. So Lindell's been injured. We'll go edit lines manually just because I don't think we have a depth center. And we will move Rathje up. So the first overall pick's getting some second line time now. We'll also move, we'll move Drake to center. Pull this injury in, put Untitled up. And then we'll put Callahan on in the fourth line because I'm pretty sure he fits it. Yep. Okay, good. But I like that our team has consistent chemistry, but we still find ways to lose games, it seems like, so I don't like that. So we tied with Montreal. We have a game against Quebec coming up. Or Colorado at this point in time if it was real life. And Patrick Lorentz has been injured with a sore knee. Geez, a lot of guys are getting injured. Lorentz has been injured multiple times already. He might be a bit of an injury-prone player. We do beat Quebec 5-2, and one more game to end the month against Buffalo. And we lose 6-2, even though we shut them out earlier this month. Okay, let's go best lines in the AHL. Anton Lindell is back. That's great news. Because now I can put Drake back to here and Tilla back down to here. And then go like this. Wow, Rathje just jumped up to an 85. Jeez. Maybe we play Rathje on the second line because I think Lindell's a two-way. Yeah, Lindell is probably better as a third liner. Yeah, we'll leave Lindell down on the third line now. As Rathje being more of an offensive player and Lindell being more defensive, I think that makes a bit of sense. Maybe it'll help us out down on the bottom six too in terms of like keeping the puck out of the net. So Lorentz is back in, which is good. We could take out Ewan. And let's see, is there still good chemistry there? Yep, there is. Okay, good. Our solid chemistry, not great. 24, 18, 5, and 4, and we're in the last wildcard spot with 53 points currently. Who's right behind us? 53 points, 4 points above the Blues. And that's the only team that's chasing us really closely. So, yeah, games against St. Louis, like the one we have coming up, are kind of crucial. And Hodges is still killing it way over point per game, so that top line must be producing pretty well. Let's go right to the trade deadline. I don't know if we're going to be making any trades because like with the way this team is simulating, I think we should be a playoff team without making trades, but I don't know if that's also going to come back to bite us. We lose to the Islanders. Game against the Blues. Nothing there, okay. Game against the Blues. We lose as well. I don't like this. The Blues are right on our ass. I want this team to be a playoff team this final season because if we're not, that will not look good. Not look good at all, especially with the offense we have. If we're going to upgrade anywhere, I think it would be defense. We're going to offer Koivu and Yuri Letnin. Yuri Letnin would come to Dallas like he played in real life. And then Saku Koivu. I don't really know about bringing in Saku Koivu. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like, we'd have to scratch like an 83 or something, and I don't really think that's realistic. Like, I could bring in Yuri Letnin, but I don't know if I really want to take anybody out of the lineup at the moment. Because, like, I wanted always to bring in Yuri Letnin in this franchise mode, but I don't really know where we could slot him in at the moment, is the only problem. So we've won back-to-back games after those 2 losses, which is good. Good way to rebound. We're on a bit of a home stretch, it looks like. We lose to Finland 4-2. That's not good. Game against New Jersey. Okay, so there was a trade, not that it really matters. Do we beat the Devils? That's more what I'm concerned about. Yes, we do. 4-2. Good job, boys. 3 wins in our last 4. Game against Boston, who probably still has the Penta. I would assume there's another trade. Okay. Boston's doing really bad. Yikes. Haynes, our former defenseman, I think that is going to Florida. We beat Boston by shooting them out 5-0. So they continue to have a bad season so far. Last 5 games, it looks like, or whatever, of this month. Yeah, last 5 games of this month. Or actually, there's 6 games of this month. There's one on the trade deadline. We beat Czech Republic 5-2. Game against the Flyers, we tie 1-1. Okay, that's still a point. And we're second in our division now, which is good. Game against Finland, and we lose to them again 4-1. So Finland must be a good team this year. And then we lose to Detroit, who's also a good team. But damn, Detroit's running away with our division. I think it said they have 80 points already. And game against Germany, can we beat Germany? Is a 4-1 win. I'll take that. Okay. So we are almost at the deadline, but we're in a pretty good spot right now, I think. It more depends on our division, if our division all of a sudden decides to turn it on, as our division is insane. Okay, a lot of trades. I guess Vancouver picked up an Oland and a Sedin in the same trade, and they're not the real ones. That's really weird. And okay, so 30, 23, 6 and 4. We have 66 points. How is the standings looking like in the West? So we're only 1 point above that last wildcard spot, and Russia's got 58 over there. So yeah, our division is really just super strong. Like, we're 6 points above the Blues only, and then 7 points above the Leafs. Like, yeah, the only team running away with it right now is the Red Wings, who are 13 points above the second team. And Hodges is still over point per game. Wow, okay. So this is a good year for offense for us. And we are on the right foot. I think I'm not going to make any trades. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make any trades this episode, just because I don't want this episode to be too long. We're already at 27 minutes-ish, I think, unless I have to make any cuts. But yeah, so we're not going to make any trades in this final season, and we're going to let the simulation do its work. Can we become a playoff team in the last season? And more importantly, can we win a Stanley Cup? Because this team did make it to the conference finals a few years back, and then all of a sudden, 2 years back, and then we missed the playoffs last season. So we're kind of back and forth, it seems like. We beat the Islanders 5-3 there, nicely done. 7-6 OT loss. That sucks because there's no points involved. We do beat Sweden, and Sidor's been injured. That's not good, but at least it's momentarily. We beat Washington. Game against the Rangers, we tie, so there's another point. We beat the Canucks 7-1. I like our offense a lot for points. 5-2 win, nicely done. We're continuing to score a lot of goals. So that's how we're going to end up winning the Stanley Cup if we have a chance, is our offense. If our offense could score a lot, we're in business. So hopefully we don't run into a good defensive team. Detroit we beat against, and we beat them again. Back-to-back wins against the top team in our division, which we're not going to be able to catch up to. But we have clinched a playoff spot with 86 points so far in the last 4 games of the month, or for the season. But we are going to be a playoff team in this final year, which is great. Can we win these last few games? There's a loss against Chicago, a loss against Germany, and a loss to the Jets. So we kind of fell apart at that end, but we do make the playoffs with a nice 40, 29, and 8 record. And Lionel Hodges only finished just over point per game. But look how tight our division was, jeez. Well, actually, it kind of slowed down a bit near the end, but okay. Let's take a look at the standings and the player stats for the season, and then we will start up with the playoffs, because we are doing playoffs in this episode. There's not another episode after this. It seems so weird going to be doing all this in one episode. So Detroit won our division with 100 points. Pittsburgh won the league with 117. So Pittsburgh's a team to watch out for, it looks like, this year. And then Washington's also up there. Where did we finish? We finished 11th best in the league, but it's like was it second or third in our division? I think it was third. So in terms of goals for per game in the entire league, we were up there in offense. Pittsburgh was the best with 4.02, which is insane. Even though they lost Yager to retirement a couple years ago, so we're up here. Not too bad. Goals against per game. We are the second best defensive team. Pittsburgh was the best defensive team and the best offensive. So more than likely they're getting swept in the first round. Unless they're just they kind of cheese the system. They also had the best power play at 29.1. Our power play was not great. It was down near the bottom, probably. And penalty kill percentage, our penalty kill probably was up here, I'd assume. Yeah, Pittsburgh's definitely getting swept or something in the first round. Yeah, we're up here in the penalty kill, but Pittsburgh had top like 10 and everything. So Pittsburgh's definitely going to get beat, probably. Edmonton had the most shorthanded goals despite being 23rd in the league. Pittsburgh was also up there in shorthanded goals. Jeez. Yeah, Pittsburgh's a scary team, but hopefully the simulation goes against them. Let's take a look at our player stats for the season and the entire league, and then we'll get into the playoffs. So Hodges led us with 84 points in 82 games. Wong 73 points, Clancy 64, Lindell 59, Pavelski 58, and he played a full season, so that's great. He's staying at an 85, which is kind of weird, but I mean he's still getting a lot of points. Like, this was a good rebound year for him, his second full season, and hopefully he has a good playoffs like he's normally had. Riley 55 points and 33 goals in his third season, I think. Yep. Pretty impressive. This kid is going to be probably a pretty good player. Antilla 52 points. Lorenz had 48 in his second season and 30 goals. So we're getting some good production from our young guys. Rathje had 48 in his first season. Yeah, we had a lot of points. Vacation was a plus 15. Nice. I like that too. And let me just check plus minus. We only had one minus player, and that was Lindell, who was a -1, but he was on our penalty kill. Goalie wise, Osgood was not great. Korolyuk was pretty solid, so that's good. And then in terms of the entire league, quickly, because we don't want this episode being like an hour and a half long, maybe. So Osgood had 116, Hartman 105, and there's probably another Pittsburgh player up here. Or maybe not. But either way, Pittsburgh had a really good season for offense. And Pat Falloon in Detroit is still playing really good. Most goals this season was Gentile with 52. Okay. Best defenseman for points, I didn't mean to do that, was Sergei Gonchar again with 74 points. Humphreys with 67. And yeah, Pavelski was top 5 again. Hopefully he wins in Norris sometime soon. I don't know if he will though. And then in terms of goaltending, the most wins by a starting goaltender was Gaucher with 43 for Pittsburgh. Most shutouts by a goalie was Gostad with 8. Best save percentage by a starter was Mika Kiprusoff with a 913. And best goals against by a starter was Gaucher with a 266. And did any goalies have any goals randomly? Nope, no goalie goals. Any decent stuff for rookies? Because we had some rookies. Nope. Holy crap. This Vorobiev guy had 86 points in his first season. I've never seen a rookie go over point per game. He was in Russia for 1 year. He played 1 year in the AHL, comes into the NHL, just absolutely insane playmaker, it looks like. He was drafted 9th overall 3 years ago. Wow. That guy looks like an insane player for San Jose. And then Wingles is there, Gosselin. Rathje finished 5th in points, which is not bad. So yeah, let's get started with the playoffs. See who we're up against. This episode's already 34 minutes, and if we go all the way to the Cup Finals this year, it's probably going to be over an hour long. Let's see what we got. We got a matchup against Chicago. So we started the season with 3 games, I think, in the first month against Chicago, and now we play them in the playoffs. They have home ice, which is kind of weird. We had very similar records as well. Let's take a look at what their lineup looks like, because I don't think we've played them in quite a few years, since I think then they had like Ed Belfour still. So they have Schumacher, Kapitanov, and Cuff, so that's a pretty solid first line, especially with these two. And then second line, they have Ortiz, Marleau, and Bancroft. Not the greatest second line, but it's still pretty solid, I guess. Third line is pretty good. They have Caden Knights, who we used to have a few years ago, I think. Yeah, we had him briefly, but then we traded him away we let him go because he wasn't playing that well. But he looks like he's rejuvenated his career a bit in Chicago. Foodie, or maybe it's Foudy for him, I don't remember how it's pronounced. Lundqvist. So solid third line. And then fourth line has Stevens, Cruz, and Desharnais. So they have a pretty good offensive core. And then defensively, they have a pretty solid defense as well. Faith in Hagman, Kapanen and Drysdale, and then Jacobs and Evenroth. And goalie-wise, they have Mika Kiprusoff, who's won the Vezina in, I think, back-to-back seasons. Well, probably he's going to win this year, or potentially he could win this year. But, like, he's won quite a few Vezinas, I think. So, yikes. I wish it also said, like, the awards, actually, like, here. Like, when you look at a player, if it said, like, a list of awards they've won throughout their career, that would be kind of nice. Like, maybe that's a good suggestion for you, EA, if you ever watch any of these. Caden Reezy is the backup. I think we played him before. And then they have Bochenski, Simard, and Baran as their depth guys. So I think we have a chance, but it depends if Kiprusoff plays like he did during the regular season. I mean, we were a really good offensive team, but Kiprusoff knows how to like stop pucks. So let's see what we can do here in this first round. Seems weird jumping right to this first round right away because I'm used to ending the episode around here. But here we go. First round against the Chicago Blackhawks in Chicago at, I think it's still the Chicago Stadium in this. Let's see what happens. First period, 2-0 us, like that. 2 goals against the potential Vezina Trophy winning goaltender as Vinkachin scores and Vance scores. So an offensive defenseman and a defensive defenseman. We're out shooting them 14-5. Second period. Wow, okay, we're having a really good first game. Not a good game for Kiprusoff. So Cruz makes it 2-1, but then DeSantis and Wong make it 4-1. Ortiz makes it 4-2, and then Hodges and Riley score. And game 1 should be pretty much in the bag unless we somehow blow it. Rathje makes it 7-2 with his first ever playoff goal. But yeah, this has been a good offensive first game. Hopefully your offense doesn't dry up like sometimes that happens. Because I know I've had a lot of series where you do really good in game 1 offensively, and then your team all of a sudden just cannot score a single goal. Rathje scores another and make it 8-2, and that is the final. And Kiprusoff stayed in net for all 8 goals. I don't know why Chicago did that. But there's all the goals. I'm not going to read all those out because there's quite a bit of them. Let's take a look at who's won the 3 stars. So Rathje gets first star with 3 points in his first ever playoff game. Riley the second star with 3 points, and DeSantis the third. Okay, so a very good start to the playoffs. I like that 8-2 win. Hopefully we can continue to do so. And Vinkachin got injured after he scored, I guess. Mild concussion. It's only until the 16th, so it's not too bad. We'll just go replace player because I think we have a decent depth defender. I think it's Magnuson, actually. But we'll still put him in anyways. So nice 8-2 win. Can we continue that with another win here in Chicago and go back home with a nice 2-0 series lead? Or are we going to kind of split these games? First period, 1-0 us. I like that. Riley scores on Kiprusoff. So Riley's been off to a great start actually in these playoffs. Shots are 12-7 in favor of Chicago. Second period, 2-0 us. I'm liking that. Granlund gets put into the lineup as a depth guy, and he scores a goal. So I'm liking that. I don't think he played at all during regular season, but literally he jumps into the lineup and scores a goal. So I like that. I like that a lot. Shows a lot about our team. As long as you have good depth, you can score goals. And Foudy made it 2-1, but then Rathje and Sador answer, and we're now at 4-1. So we should pretty much have this one in the bag. And our offense is continuing to hum. We got 12 goals in our first 2 games of the series. Kiprusoff not playing like he does during the regular season, it seems like. So there's a nice 4-1 victory. So goals in that game, Riley from Wong and Hodges, Granlund from Rathje and Lawrence, Rathje from Clancy, and Sador from Drake and Markstrom. So it seems like the youth is doing really good this playoffs so far. Like Rathje and who's the other one? Riley have been pretty good to start off this playoffs. Like that shows that at least our future looks pretty bright here in Dallas, I think. Okay, so now that we have a 2-0 series lead, it looks like our AHL team also made the playoffs. Just kind of surprising. Yep, they did. We are going to be back at home ice in Dallas and see if we can take a 3-0 series lead. Can we take this stranglehold on Chicago and potentially maybe move on to the second round in next game? First period, 1-0 us. I'm liking how we're playing good defensively, and Granlund's got 2 goals. So this offensive defenseman, I think it is, Comes into the lineup and scores 2 goals in 2 games. Like, maybe I keep this guy in instead of, who was it that got injured? Whoever that defenseman was. I think it was Vance or something. It might have been Vance. I don't remember. Oh, no, it was Vincation. There you go. Second period. There's Chicago's offense. Finally, they scored 2 goals. Stevens and Enroth. One of them was a shorthanded goal, and we're down 2-1 going into the third. Shots are even. Can we tie this game up here in the third? Come on, offense. Power play. No dice there. Who wants to score for us? Anybody? Or are we going to lose the game on home ice? Final 5 minutes. Come on, guys. 1 goal. And we are not going to get it done. And our offense dries up in that game, and we lose 2-1. So Chicago takes at least 1 game in the series. So Granlund with his only goal, or his goal from Wong and Riley. So I think Riley's on a 3-game point streak now. But Kiprusoff has a good game for a change because he started off the series not that good. Like, we had 12 goals in 2 games, but now we got 13 and 3. Okay, so let's get into game number 4 and see if we could take a 3-1 stranglehold, or is Chicago going to tie the series up? Also, I apologize if my voice sounds like it's dying. It's because I've recorded so much in a row. Like, it might end up dying by the end of this, but at least my voice will have a bit of a break before NHL 21 content. So let's take Granlund out and put back in Vincation, even though Granlund was pretty good. 2 goals in 2 games in the playoffs. He didn't even play a single regular season game yet. But I'm kind of surprised. Huh. Okay, so here we go. Game number 4 on home ice. Let's win this one, boys. I don't want a tie series headed back to Chicago. First period. And it is a 2-1 lead for us. Nicely done. Hodges and Antilla, so 2 snipers, I think. And Marlowe gets a goal for Chicago to pull them back in it. Our shots are 19-7 in favor of us. So come on, Coral, you can do this. Second period. 4-1. There you go. Lorentz picks up 2 goals. And we are up 4-1. So we're having a good offensive game in comparison to our last one. Let's see if we could lock this one down and go up 3-1 in the series. But yeah, I'm liking how our team's playing offensively and a bit defensively as well. Like, we've had a pretty good performance so far in the playoffs. Hopefully that continues past this first round if we get past it. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Last little bit, and we are going to win 4-1 and take a 3-1 series lead. So goals in that game: Hodges from Wong, Antilla from Zador, Lorentz from Clancy and Pavelski, and Lorentz from Clancy and Pavelski again. Nicely done. 3 stars in that game: Lorentz first star, Korolyuk the second, and Antilla the third. So it seems like Korolyuk's one of those goalies that could bounce back a bit. Like, I mean, he hasn't had a bad game actually at all in these playoffs so far. Like, 1 goal against, 2 goals against, 1 goal, 2 goals against. So yeah, he's been pretty good so far. But it could be also our defense, who knows. Okay, so we have a 3-1 stranglehold. Can we end the Chicago Blackhawks season here and move to the second round after missing the playoffs last year? Hopefully we can. First period, it's scoreless. Okay, I'll take that at least. Shots are 10-10 apiece, and there is no goals, so very even first period of play. Pretty much back and forth, I would assume. Second period, 2-0 Chicago. Don't like that. Cuff and Baran score, and it's a shorthanded goal again against. So we've allowed 2 shorthanded goals in this round, so that might be something we need to look into changing. Is our power play unit up a bit? I don't know. Because our power play, I think, has scored in the series, but we've allowed 2 shorthanded goals, which is not a good sign. Let's see what happens here in the third. Riley gets us on the board. Can we come back in this third period and win the series? Or are we going to another game? 5-on-3 power play. We don't score on it. Penalty kill. Nicely done again. Come on, boys. Let's get 1 more goal and tie this one up. And we're not going to get it, probably, as Abel Schumacher makes it 3-1. And, yep, we're going to another game back on home ice as we lose 3-1. So that's the first time Korolyuk's let in 3 goals in the game. So our only goal in that one is Riley from Wong at Hodges. But I don't really like how our offense has been the last few games. Like 4 goals last game, which is good. But we've only scored 2 goals in the other 2 games. So it's kind of concerning. 6 goals in 3 games is an average of 2 goals per game. And it's a bit iffy. I mean, if we could bounce back with a nice win here and end the series, that would be good. But it is kind of iffy that our offense is not off to this great of start as it was in the first 2 games. So here we go, game number 6 on home ice. Can we end this series, or are we going to a 7th game? Please don't go to a 7th game, especially back in Chicago. Come on, boys. First period, 1-1. Okay, I'll take that. Drake scores his first goal of the playoffs. Lundqvist scores a power play goal, so I don't think we let in much power play goals already in the series, so that might have been one of the first ones against. Shots are 14-7 in favor of us. Come on, boys. Second period, 2-2. Okay, I'll take it. Shots are now 23-20 in favor of them, but it's tied. Clancy scores to give us the lead, and then Schumacher pretty much right afterwards, like 2 minutes later, ties it up. Let's see what happens here in the third. Come on, boys. Who wants to be that hero for us? Power play. Nobody scores on it. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Final 10 minutes of this third period of game number 6. Come on, boys. Penalty kill. Yikes. Late penalty, and we managed to go to overtime. We're being outshot 37-28, so it's a pretty good game for Kohler Duke for the most part. Let's see if we could win here in overtime. Come on, boys. We need a hero. Because, yeah, I don't want to go to a game 7. Like, we've been kind of outplayed. Power play? Nope, we don't score on that. Power play again. Come on, guys. No, we don't score again. That's not good. Gives them momentum, I think, too. And we are still tied going into double overtime. Shots are 42-38. It comes down to this. Who is going to win in game 6? Come on, boys. Who wants to be that guy? And it's going to be them. God damn it, it's Cruz. As they cruise to a victory. 3-2. And we are going to a game 7 after having the 3-1 series lead. Don't like that at all. I think I'm going to make some line changes. Because their offense is kind of stale a bit right now. And Kiprusoff is starting to play like he did during the regular season, which we don't want. Because this could be potentially the last game of the entire series here on YouTube. So let's make sure we make the right changes to our lineup. Like maybe we put Granlund back in because he seemed to score goals. Let's see, any lines that are minus. There probably won't be because we scored 8 goals in game 1, but just in case. Oh, the 4th line a bit. Until at least. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? I don't know even really what we want to change. Yeah, I think I'm going to take out Vincation for 1 game. Actually, he's a +2 though. Take out Cullimore. No, I think I'm going to take out Vincation for a game. Granlund, even though he's a 77, he put up 2 goals in 2 games. I'm going to give him a shot. Because it seems like once he gets into the lineup, he could be a pretty good player. So, we're going to give him this game. And hope that it helps us win the series, because if not, this series is going to come to an end, and I don't like that at all. Especially with the first round exit, that would not be good. So, real-time simulation, potentially the final game of this YouTube series. Let's see what happens. Come on, Dallas, you got this. We want to go to the second round, please. Power play? No dice, that's not good. We were scoring power play goals early in this series, but now we haven't been able to, and Chicago goes up 1-0, not good. Damn it, Cuff. Why do you have to score? And we're down 1-0 after 1, and we're being outshot 13-6. This is not a good start for us. I mean, Corley's keeping us in it right now, but we need our offense to come through. Come on, boys. Second period underway, and Bancroft makes it 2-0. If we don't score any goals this period, the series might be coming down to an end. Come on, guys. Wake up, you were a really good team during the season. There's a goal from Anton Lindell, the captain, on a power play goal to give us a 1-goal game. Oh, come on. We need 1 goal. Final period, potentially. Come on, Riley or Pavelski, who hasn't scored yet. We're running out of time. Power play. We don't score on it. And this might be the end, guys. Might be the end. And we're not going to get it done. And we lose in 7 games in the first round. And the playoff series is going to come to an end. And this entire franchise mode comes to an end with a first round exit. But damn, that really blows. This team looked like it was definitely going to head to the second round. But we all of a sudden our offense dried up. I knew that was a problem. It seems like when you have a really good first game of the series where you score so much, your team just automatically doesn't score a lot. And Mika Kiprusoff manages to steal the series away from us and play like he did during the regular season. Well, I guess I'm going to do a little bit of a series end off. Just end off this episode because it's 51 minutes so far, so might as well push it to like the hour. We'll see all the awards for the final season as well, our final season that you guys see out as well. But that really sucks. I really thought this team had a chance to win the Stanley Cup again this season with all that points we were scoring. But we just couldn't get by the Chicago Blackhawks. So let's take a look at the player stats for this playoff matchup. So Wong had 7 points. Like, we had some good offensive production throughout our lineup. But we just could not get it done in those last few games. Like, Antilla, Vance were minus really badly. Maybe I should have taken Vance out of the lineup. And then goalie-wise, Korolyuk was really good. Like, I think I'm definitely going to keep him around for a while. But, damn, that really sucks. Wong only had 3 shots in 7 games. I know he's a playmaker, but still, that's not good. Because, like, even Granlund, who played only 3 games, had 8 shots. So, that's a bit of a yikes, I guess. Okay, so now that you've seen that, let's actually go to our players for a second and kind of wrap up how our players' careers went, and then we will sim to the awards, and then that will be it for this entire series, I think. I'll also show you guys progress reports and stuff probably. So let's take a look at Hodges and what he's done for us. So in his 3 seasons with us so far, or 2.5 seasons, he's been fantastic. He's up to 759 career points. Wong, who's been with us pretty much since the beginning of this franchise mode, is got 1,011 points. He's been pretty great. I think he had won a 100-point season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he had 100 points 1 year. But he's been really good. And then playoff-wise, he's point per game. So he's been a good playoff producer for us, especially that year we won the Stanley Cup recently. Clancy's 64 points this season. Why did he drop to an 81? Oh no, he wasn't an 81. That was probably the guy below. Never mind. But yeah, he's had a good solid career. 390 points so far. And in the playoffs, he's got 47 points. Not too bad. Anton Lindell, who's been here since really early on as well. 787 career points and a plus 57. His best season being that 72-point season, it looks like. And then playoff-wise, you got 83 points. His best playoff year being that 19-point where we won the Cup, I think. Pavelski, 58 points. Like I said, this guy is a stud for being an undrafted player. One of the best I've ever had. There you go. Riley, 55 points. We already looked at his career stats, I think, but he's been pretty solid. Playoff-wise, he's got 9 points in 24 games because he didn't have a lot the 2 years ago. Antilla, 52 points. He's been here for quite a while as well. Solid player as well, but a bit bad defensively. Lorentz, 48 points. He's only been in 2 seasons so far, but he's been pretty good. And he's still only an 80, but he's still been pretty solid. Rathje, his first season, he's jumped up to an 85, 48 points in 82 games. Playoff-wise, 6 points in 7 games. Future is bright for Caleb Rathje for sure. DeSantis has been with us for quite a while, since we acquired him. He's been, yeah, pretty solid. Not necessarily the best player, but still pretty solid. He was not great in the playoffs this year. He definitely was one of those guys we should have looked to for more points. Sador 32 points. He's getting way less ice time than he used to, but he's still putting up like 30 points, so still pretty solid. Keith Drake's been with us for quite a long time. His best points come in last season, but he hasn't been getting much ice time since. Aiden Patrick, don't really like this guy's defense. Actually, plus 15 this year, but he was minus 10 the year before. But he's been okay, especially considering he was a 4th round draft choice. Vincation's been solid since we acquired him last season. 34 points and a plus 21. Helmer's been very solid since acquiring him as well from Czech Republic in free agency. He's actually put up a decent amount of points for a defensive defenseman, and he's a plus 91 in his career. And playoff wise, he's been okay as well. Cullimore has been not too bad. He hasn't had a long career, really, 3 years. More of a 20-point guy at best. Markstrom has not played that much. He's only played like 92 career games, but he's still really good plus minus. And in Vance, 14 points. Not much of an offensive defenseman, even though he's listed as one. Really bad defensively, so I don't know how long he's going to be here. And then I don't care really about Callahan. Ewan, though, has been with us for a long time. We acquired him way back in the David Vaborny deal, I think. He's been a solid 4th liner. And that is it for offense. And in goalie wise, Korliuk has not played that much with us, but he's been pretty solid when he's been playing with us, so I like that. And then Osgood didn't really get to play much with us either, but he's been okay. He's probably going to retire this year, more than likely. I won't do the retirements in this video, though, just because I don't want to be talking for much longer, because almost an hour long into this and my voice is completely dead. Okay, so let's quickly sim to the awards, and we'll also show you guys the progress reports, and that will be it. I might also show you guys the draft class, even though you're not going to be able to suggest anything because I'm going to be playing this on my own. But yeah, oh, my voice is so dead. I'm gonna have to drink like a lot of water after this. So the Pittsburgh Penguins end up winning the Stanley Cup. So I kind of said, oh, they're going to get swept in the first round. Well, they're actually going to be the Stanley Cup champion this season, which makes sense. And Tucson wins the AHL. So Pittsburgh winning the Stanley Cup. I wonder who they had to beat. But once again, Detroit doesn't win the Stanley Cup. It's kind of surprising. So Pittsburgh wins the Stanley Cup and the President's Trophy. And it was Pittsburgh and Germany in the finals. Okay. Osgood wins the Art Ross in the Hart. Humphreys wins the Norris, so that's his 3rd in the last 5 years. Pat Falloon wins the Lady Byng. Vorobiev wins the Calder. Hartman wins the Conn Smythe. Gaucher wins the Vezina and also the Jennings. Wilcox wins the Masterton. Harkins wins the Jack Adams. Torres wins the Selke. Osgood the Lindsay. And Gentile the Richard. And then in terms of the AHL, anybody for us? Guess our AHL team didn't last super long either. Nope. Okay, so let's quickly take a look actually also the playoff tree just for fun. So Chicago ended up getting to the conference finals. So we lost to a decent team, I guess. But still, I don't know how Germany got all the way to the Cup finals. But Pittsburgh went through Buffalo in 4, Montreal in 6, Rangers in 5, and Germany in 6 to win the Cup. Okay, so let's take a quick look at, what was I going to say, the progress reports, and I'll also show you guys the draft class briefly. So progress reports wise, so we are getting some drop off from Helmer, but he is getting up there in age. In terms of growth, though, Rathje is growing really nicely. The others are getting probably statistical growth. Oh, some natural growth too. Anybody else dropping off a lot? Doesn't look like it, not even Osgood. And in the system, we're getting some growth from Jalen Wood, who probably had a good season down there. Oh, he had a solid season. In terms of defensive prospects, we don't really have anybody super good. In terms of wingers, Zuzin is going to be probably in the NHL next season, so that's pretty awesome. Considering, I think he was a first rounder, maybe not. I don't know. But he should be in the NHL next season. And left wing wise, nobody really looks like they're going to make it. Yeah, Wolski's probably going to be not one of those low elites that make it. And Watkins is getting closer. But yeah, that's that. And let's quickly take a look at the draft class, because my voice might be dead by the end of this. Like, I might not be able to talk for quite a while. So let's go to draft class, just to show you guys what we could potentially be going after when I record stuff, or not record stuff, but when I play this game afterwards. So we're probably like early 20s. But yeah, just in case you guys wanted to look. Jero Cummings, okay. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this entire Dallas Stars franchise mode. Just I want to thank you guys a lot for the support since the beginning of NHL like 20. It's been like a lot of fun for content. It's been kind of getting a little stale near the end of this because I had to kind of drag out this franchise mode because of the pandemic and all that. So hopefully you managed to stick through this entire series, and if you watched every single episode, thank you so much for that. I'm very excited to start up with NHL 21 content hopefully soon after you guys see this video. And yeah, we'll start up with our Detroit franchise mode, and as well some Pro content, some roster building and all that stuff. So hopefully you're looking forward to it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in NHL 21.